Welcome to this segment of Black Girl Magic Digital Summit. I'm Terry Broussard-Williams, Head of Social Justice Policy and Partnerships with Amazon, and I am so delighted to be here with you today. I want to introduce you to two incredible and inspirational sellers. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I am so excited just to chat with you because you've done so much in the community, but because you all show up and you're bringing all of you, not only to your work, but to your communities and your families. So I want to start off, Melissa, by allowing you to have the opportunity to tell us your name and a little bit about your business.
Well, thank you. My name is Melissa Origin. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Origin Bees. Origin Bees is an acronym. It stands for Our Representation is Just Inclusion Normalized, beautifully empowering every soul. And our company was born from just my experience as a mother with my eldest daughter. She struggled with self-confidence when she started school. She was the only Black girl in her class, and we quickly saw her confidence fade, and I scrambled as a mom, right? As any mom, I scrambled and was looking for solutions. I was complaining to my husband all the time, and the dolls became an issue. We couldn't find dolls that looked like her. And he said, why don't you just make the ones you want to see? As simple as that. And that's how our company was born.
You have to be the change you want to see.
Absolutely.
And we got to chat a little bit before while we were getting ready, and I told you it's so easy for someone to look at a person like me and think that I might find a little bit of myself of dolls that existed in the 70s and the 80s, because I'm that old, y'all. But, you know, I never saw a doll that had my hair or freckles like me. So I'm excited to ask you some questions so we can get into the heart of how you did that.
I would love to.
And same for you, like your kids were the inspiration for your line. I want to hear all about you and why you got started.
Well, again, my name is Chanel Fuller. I am the founder and CEO of Miles in Milan. I live in sunny Los Angeles right now, but born and raised in Boston, so an East Coaster at heart. Prior to creating Miles in Milan, I worked for a lot of large corporate retail companies, was responsible for the brick and mortar experience across North America, selecting trends, buying fantastic styles that created great waves in the 2010s. And I really didn't think I would leave corporate retail behind. It wasn't until, like, similarly, the life experience of becoming a mom that I started to receive gifts from, you know, friends and family excited for the arrival of my son, and starting to understand that the children's clothing market has gone largely undisrupted for a long time. If you are having a boy, you get blue. If you're having a girl, you get pink. So I decided to fill a gap that I saw in the industry and create Miles in Milan, which is a gender-neutral company that's gender-neutral styles, gender-neutral colors, all with the focus of great classic styles that are meant to pass down from generation to generation or friend to friend. And I've been blessed in my journey, in my long journey of doing this, to receive accolades from great media giants, great media companies, and being able to share my story with all of you today.
Well, and I was playing on both of your Instagrams earlier just to get familiar with your vibe and your brand. And you still have personality in your clothing, even though it's gender neutral and the colors are gray and white and black. So great and outstanding job, and just the way that you were able to translate, you know, that story into the clothing.
Thank you so much. Yes, I really wanted my brand, although it is generally black, white, and gray, I still wanted it to be relatable. We wanted to create a blank canvas that is for everyone to dress up or dress down. It's minimalistic, but it could be maximalist as well. So thank you for noticing.
So our segment is all about hustling. So I want to ask you in a very forward future manner about how you ensure the longevity of your brands. Like, what are you thinking when you get up in the morning to ensure that it still exists for your kids later in life?
Well, I think once you start a business, it's important to know that once you have a business, you have a customer, and becoming customer focused and becoming customer obsessed, and really truly trying to figure out what your customer is asking for, how your customer is growing, but also who is your customer. You know, I think it's important to know not every customer is your customer, and you want to be authentic to the brand and the vision that you're building. So how can you pull in that information that your consumer base is asking for, but also doing it in a way that's going to have sustainability? You don't want to put the cart before the horse, and you don't want to spend beyond your means. You want to do it authentically and when it's right for yourself.
Absolutely. And I would say, similar to Chanel, that for us, it's always remembering why we started the company, understanding our purpose behind Origin Bees, and always leading with that. If we lead with that, having the customers share their experiences with us, we always take feedback, and that's how we always improve our product, we improve the experience. And we know that our customers, we have two customers. We have the adults that are buying the toys, and we have the children that are playing with them. And for us, the longevity of the company is it's the children, right? If they have a great experience with the dolls, as they grow into adulthood and they have little ones that they love, if they loved Origin Bees, then they'll buy Origin Bees for their kids and their nieces and their grandkids. So focusing on them trusting us as a brand, and that's how we go for longevity.
I'm sure there's so many people that are watching that are really thinking about, their drive and their hustle. And you said something that is a way of life for us at Amazon, and that's being customer obsessed. We have leadership principles that we live by because we know that we will excel when we, consistently lean into those. And so I think customer obsession is definitely key. But that leads into the next question that I want to ask you, and it's about the younger generation. So you mentioned that you want those moms and those aunties, because I'm not a mom yet, but
Aunties,
right?
aunties make the world go around, right?
I told her backstage I actually want to talk for myself because I didn't have one, right? But so as you're thinking about the kids that your daughters might have, or the aunties that they become, how are you engaging them so that they too might remain a loyal customer?
It's really just listening, right? Because we have my husband and I, we have 3 kids, and they're the first ones we hear, right? We have a focus group at home. Right? Our products, as they go through the stages of our research and development, we're getting their feedback, and they tell us what they love, and they're very candid, tell us what they don't love, and we're grateful for it. And I also come from a very big family. Both my parents have very large families. My mom is one of 32 kids.
No way.
Yeah. So get-togethers, they're perfect. They're perfect for listening to what the younger generation, what they're into, what's trending, the new technologies, and making sure that we're students and we're constantly following the future.
And you have more than a focus group at home. You have a whole village to help you think. And what's the strategy that you use to think about the next generation?
I feel like it's similarly, it's important that you, kind of what we were saying was, it takes a village to raise a child. And it's interesting, you have to continue to, it's similar with a business as well. It takes a village to have a business. You have to be able to have perspective and to be able to have those focus groups, to happen to able to listen to the consumer. And similarly, for me, I'm a very gift-giving oriented brand. People like to come to me to buy clothing, to be able to give to their kids. And if we put our quality, they're going to feel that. They're going to see our heart into every clothing and being able to pass that down from generation to generation.
That's beautiful. You're teaching them sustainability, right when they get here and they become a part of our families. I want to really dig into, the beyond a strategy, getting ahead and staying ahead. So if you had to say there were 10 steps that you did to ensure your success, or even, the Cliff Notes version of that, what are the 10 steps that people should use?
I think one of the steps that I think is important to remain, 10 steps ahead and futuristic and thinking about your company is also challenging yourself, not being afraid to make mistakes, moving forward with continuing to understand that the market is growing, the market is ever changing, to be agile, surround yourself with like-minded individuals that are, doing the same thing as you, and understanding what may work for your company and have a mutual share. So for me, it's continuing education, whether it be in a class, a book, or working with others.
Absolutely, I agree. It's being a student and also aligning yourself. As with a small business, you're limited in resources. So aligning yourselves with larger companies that are futuristic, like Amazon, that will give you that education. They will give you that support to make sure that you're positioned well. And we wouldn't be able to do that without those types of partnerships.
Yeah. So I'm a part of a community within Amazon. If you are an employee of Amazon, we say that we're Amazonian. And I'm an Amazonian who also is a seller. So I have a book that I wrote that is you can buy with Amazon. And one thing that I always tell people when you're thinking about that hustle or those 10 steps that you need to do, of course you want to get ahead and stay ahead, but you also have to insert a little bit of just time to pause, right? Time to breathe. And time just to be yourself. And so I think that's something that we don't underscore enough. There's always the hustle, but we need a little bit of time to recover, renew, and realign with our purpose.
I definitely 100% agree with that. I feel like life is just always fast moving, always, it's always going to throw curveballs at you, and you need to know when to swing and when to take a pause. And it's okay to go slow, because a lot of companies tend to feel like they need to go fast, and that's how they burn themselves out quickly.
Yeah, I'm still learning that. I think I'm still learning on how to like take a break, because with the small business, you don't want to miss the opportunities. So you have to be so conscious about saying, okay, let's stop, let's reflect, let's see what worked well, let's see what we can improve on. So it's really important.
I think it's another thing, just to add on that, one of the greatest things that someone's ever told me is that it takes 5 years to build a brand. A lot of people start a business and they think there's a silver bullet and you're just going to hit it out the park right away. But it's longevity. It's maneuvering, it's learning, and then you'll grow, and then hopefully you'll be beyond 5 years. Yeah.
So you're rested.
Yes.
You have that 10-step plan, and you're thinking, future focus. So how do you take risks, and what are the right risks to take?
For me, the biggest risk, it's a personal risk, but because this is a family brand, this was my biggest risk, is deciding to walk away from my career, right? And walking away from that stability and taking a chance on myself. And I couldn't have done that without my husband, Archon. He was an entrepreneur way before me. And he saw greatness in me before I saw it in myself. And it's learning to trust yourself, learning to invest in yourself as much as you invest in others. I think, especially as a mother, you have to remember, like, investing yourself as much as, give in to yourself as much as you give in to others, and be ready for the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. I think it's beautiful, and it's also similar, like, leaving corporate America, the wonderful, like, easy life, seamlessly stressless, and really putting your passion on public display in hopes of building an income. That is really risk-taking, but like you, I do everything for my kids, and, culturally, we all come from, and personally, we all come from a land of great risk takers, people that truly step out and do what's right and do what feels comfortable. And right now, my risk that I'm taking and being here and putting my passion project on display is creating generational wealth for my boys. And they can look at what grandpa did, they can look at what auntie did, they can look at what mommy and daddy did, and take it to the next level. And I'm really excited to see where my boys are going to take it, your daughters are going to take it, and the next generation is going to take it, just by being inspirations to them. Right, and just them watching the day-to-day, what's going on. They're light years ahead of where I was at their age.
So true. And the stories they can pass down from your brand and the mission and your why, I think that is really how you create generational wealth and instill that little fire in the next generation.
They are the catalyst for everything.
Oh, you guys just gave me goosebumps. But I want to really ask you the question, Melissa. How has Amazon supported you? Because you're saying you're still in the crux of it, you're still grinding. So what support have you received from Amazon?
We've been really lucky to be part of the Black Business Accelerator program. They've given us so much support in so many different ways. Like, one thing that's really nice about the program is you actually have real people that you can talk to, and they're accessible, and you can build relationships, and that they want to see you win, right? It's not just for the face of it. They're there. And if I have a question, within a day or two, I'm on a call. And there's resources, there's grants available, there's education available, there's so much there, and we're just grateful for the exposure, right? The media opportunities that we wouldn't have had otherwise, and you can't miss out on those opportunities as a small business. You have to.
What about you?
Similar, I think what I have to give great applause and thanks and grateful to Amazon and what they're doing for this community. You know, the resources, the equity that they're putting behind it, you know, being able to have an account representative on speed dial, you know, being able to have access to grants and opportunities like this to continue to share our stories, continue to share our wealth of knowledge and inspire the next generation is huge. And I feel like Amazon's really putting a true effort where other companies can be doing it performatively and saying that they're supporting, you know, the Black community, but they're only doing it for the month of February.
Right.
This is a year-round definite effort to support.
Absolutely, they're walking.
Yeah.
It's so funny because you said they're real people. So I'm at my desk, you know, on Slack. We have this thing called Chime, and I get a phone call, and it's like, "Hi, I'm with the Black Business Accelerator." I was like, okay. They were calling to check on me, because I'm a seller, and you know, for me, I travel all across the country, and I get to talk to policymakers about, you know, our why and how we're helping, and really saying like we are doing this. So for me to be able to say I also got a call makes it real, and it allows me to share that story in a manner that others really can't do.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you for that. But I also want to talk about innovation, right? Because you have those 10 steps, you're thinking 5 years because it's going to take 5 years to build that brand. So how do you stay innovative to allow yourself to keep the hustle going?
For me, I think in order to stay innovative and iterate is to test. You have to test to learn. You have to not be afraid to make mistakes. You have to move forward with humility and authenticity. I think one of the greatest things mistakes that you can make is to make a mistake and not learn from it. You know, for us, we're running tests this year, you know, and our purpose is to understand how is our consumer going to respond to us playing in color? How is our consumer going to respond to us expanding sizes or playing in the adult arena? You know, we are running those tests with a purpose. We're not just, you know, running tests to run tests, because at the end of the day, we hope to ace those tests, but if we end up failing, it's easier to get back up.
Absolutely, and I think always listening to your customer, right? We intentionally will call our customers and check up on them, and we ask them how it's going, how their kids are playing with the dolls, their experience, and they also give us advice on what they would like to see, right? They're the perfect people to help us grow. They want to see us win. We want them to have their best experience, and listening to what our customers are saying and constantly improving and constantly being students. I think that's the key to it. Yeah. Being students.
What's your favorite piece of advice you got from a customer?
Someone asked for freckles, and we have freckles.
Oh, you told me that, and I was like, I am buying that doll for me.
Yep, we have baby dolls with freckles.
So happy.
I'm so excited about it. So yeah.
Well, I asked you a little bit about innovation, but I also want to know the million-dollar question I'm sure everyone is asking at home: funding. Yeah. How do you begin to think about receiving funding? And, you know, what is that story that you tell when you're beginning to have the conversation?
For me, I started my entrepreneurship journey a little later in life, so I was able to invest in myself. So I think it really depends on where you are in life and where you are with your project. Needless to say, we're a small business, right? And budgets are always, you have to be conscious of your budget. So you look for opportunities. Opportunities, for example, Black Business Accelerators, they give grants for marketing. Marketing is such an expensive area where you have to be able to test. Yeah. You have to test, you have to know where your audience are, how you can communicate to your audience, and also being able to have other experts in the field. So even if you're going out for funding, oftentimes look for places where you have experts there to support you, to help you grow, because it's not just the funding that will help you grow, right? Yeah. You need the advisory as well.
Yeah.
It's the human capital.
Yeah, that's the
intellectual
one,
capital.
That's
Absolutely.
like 100% agree with you. I think when you're looking for funding and you're looking for capital, you want to make sure that it's a marriage. You know, you don't want to just hook up with anybody that's willing to give you money. You want to make sure that they're going to invest in you. They're going to provide the resources that you need, the gaps that need to be filled, and being able to create a true partnership. Somebody that wants to see you win, not someone who wants just to receive their funding back. Right. So I think it's important when you're looking for funding, be authentic, tell your story, make sure that they are resonating with that story and that they want to support you wholeheartedly.
And also know it really is a marriage, so they're
Yes.
going to give you the tough love
Yes.
and the hard advice that
That's
you need
very
at times.
yeah.
I love that so much. Another question, and this might actually be one of the last ones, but we talked about your funding and the people that are investing in you. How do you know when it's the right risk to take with that funding?
I guess risk is risk, reward is reward. You have to be able to truly, again, not spend beyond your means, and having a partnership and having a support system and having a partnership with somebody or a investor that's going to help you make those tough decisions.
Yeah, I think you really have to do a gut check, right? And you have to, if you're bringing in an investor, you have to make sure that they align with your purpose, right? And you have to make sure that it's not just about the returns, and you have to take the risk. And there are different types of risks. You can do debt. You can raise capital. Apply for every possible grant, right? That's probably the least risky. But there are a lot of options out there. Be open.
The biggest lesson that you've learned?
For me, I think just stepping out of your comfort zone may sound scary, but it yields a lot of reward. Once you're going to push yourself, you're going to grow. I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned.
For me, is when I started Origin Bees, I really didn't understand what it took to be an entrepreneur. And for me, the success of an entrepreneur is being able to successfully resolve every problem, because things are not going to go as planned, right? They will not go as planned, and understanding that and being able to move and adjust and pivot, that's what a successful entrepreneur is.
Yeah, you're everything. And it's 24 hours, 365 days of the year. There is no off button, but it's all about your passion and truly, is this what you want to deliver? So, if you can, it's a great thing to do, and there's a lot of personal reward in it.
I think that's a beautiful place to end. And as a reminder, what do they say? What's that saying? The hustle's always sold separately, right? So we have to definitely thank you, Melissa Origin and Chanel Fuller, just for sharing your heart and your passion and your inspiration with all of us and with those that shop with Amazon.
Oh, thank you, Terry.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really, truly an honor to be here among both of you.
Likewise.
Well, and I also want to thank everyone that's joining us at home for this Black Girl Magic Digital Summit. And we are so grateful to all of you who've joined us today. I'm Terry Broussard-Williams, Head of Social Justice Policy and Partnership with Amazon. Well, thank you all, and we hope that you continue to join us for the rest of today's Digital Summit.